Hi, I want to read you something that I find very beautiful. It's a preface written by Evelyn Waugh to his novel Brideshead Revisited. The actual preface is written in 1959. It's very short, so I'm just going to share it with you here, because some people that have a more modern edition may not have this preface, and I think it's quite explanatory. Preface. This novel, which is here reissued, with many small additions and substantial cuts, lost me such esteem as I once enjoyed among my contemporaries and led me into an unfamiliar world of fan mail and press photographers. Its theme, the operation of divine grace on a group of diverse but closely connected characters, was perhaps presumptuously large, but I make no apology for it. I am less happy about its form, whose more glaring defects may be blamed on the circumstances in which it was written. In December 1943, I had the good fortune, when parachuting, to incur a minor injury which afforded me a rest from military service. This was extended by a sympathetic commanding officer, who let me remain unemployed until June 1944, when the book was finished. I wrote with a zest that was quite strange to me, and also with impatience to get back to the war. It was a bleak period of present privation and threatening disaster, the period of soya beans and basic English, and in consequence, the book is infused with a kind of gluttony for food and wine, for the splendours of the recent past, and for rhetorical and ornamental language, which now, with a full stomach, I find distasteful. I have modified the grosser passages, but have not obliterated them, because they are an essential part of the book. I have been in two minds as to the treatment of Julia's outburst about mortal sin and Lord Marchmain's dying soliloquy. These passages were never, of course, intended to report words actually spoken. They belong to a different way of writing from, say, the early scenes between Charles and his father. I would not now introduce them into a novel which elsewhere aims at verisimilitude. But I have retained them here in something near their original form because, like the Burgundy, misprinted in many editions, and the Moonlight, they were essentially of the mood of writing. Also because many readers liked them, though that is not a consideration of first importance. It was impossible to foresee in the spring of 1944 the present cult of the English country house. It seemed then that the ancestral seats, which were our chief national artistic achievement, were doomed to decay and spoliation, like the monasteries in the 16th century. So I piled it on, rather, with passionate sincerity. Brideshead today would be open to trippers, its treasures rearranged by expert hands and the fabric better maintained than it was by Lord Marchmain, and the English aristocracy has maintained its identity to a degree that then seemed impossible. The advance of Hooper has been held up at several points. Much of this book, therefore, is a panegyric preached over an empty coffin. But it would be impossible to bring it up to date without totally destroying it. It is offered to a younger generation of readers as a souvenir of the Second War rather than of the 20s or of the 30s, with which it ostensibly deals. Written in Coombe, Florey, 1959, Evelyn Waugh.